This week Parashat Lecha. You're going to say something short in Parashat Novach, and then we're going to connect it to the Parashat of Lecha. It's interesting that Parashat Novach talks about flood, and we ask ourselves, what's the relevancy of the flood to nowadays life? Our society, Baruch Hashem, everything's safe. There's no water, there's no rain, there is nothing. But I tell you something, that that the flood of nowadays is much more dangerous than the flood that was at the time of Noah. Now you're going to ask me why? Why am I saying that? Because the flood of Noah, it was possible to identify the wave. We identified and we said this is the wave that kills, that destroys, and was very clear. But nowadays, the mabul, the flood that's coming to us, we cannot identify the waves. It comes through cables, it comes to our bedroom, it comes to our living room, it comes to the mind of our children. There was a time that the people, they worked with their muscles. They worked, they did jobs with the muscles. But the inner part of a Yid, inner part of a Jew was Kodesh HaKodashim, was for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, was for the family, was for good things. But nowadays, the waves goes very, very inside. It takes the person, it takes the focus of a person, it takes all of the menschlach, all of the things of the person. At the beginning of the Parashat, it says, Novach ish. Why am I saving Novach? Because the ish is the mensch. He's a mensch. He didn't lose himself. That nowadays, the waves, the things, makes us to lose an Adam, the surah of Adam, the focus of Adam. The iPhone, the new technology, the involvement in life. A family came to me and they had a problem with their son. I told them what's the shaykhut of the son and the father. He says the father was so busy with business, mamash. They didn't build up anything, nothing. See, a son needs a father. Person thinks that the children need, the money. But they need relationship. A son growing without a father, it doesn't have a guideline, it is lost. This is the waves, these are the mabul. No, this mabul is much more dangerous. Of course it's much more dangerous. Because, you are sitting safe. No, more than that. We welcome the wave. We buy it. We inject it. We become one with it. Therefore, of course it's more dangerous. But do not identify the enemy. It's much more dangerous. Now, Torah tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Noah he has to make a teva. Now, what's the point? No, the remedy is not just for Noah 4,000 years ago, and we have to read it nowadays. The remedy has to be a remedy that works even nowadays. How does the remedy work nowadays? What's our teva that we have to build? How are we going to save our wife, our children, our surrounding? How are we going to make a teva? Now it's interesting. If you notice in Torah says, Aserecha teva atse gofer. Now, Mefarshim say, what does teva mean here? No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu means that you have to make ship on the water to go, right, to be safe. Now, if you notice in Torah, in Tanakh, the word that we have for ship is unya or sefina. We have unya or sefina. We don't have the word of teva. We never use the word of teva for a ship. Now, here we use it teva. Now, why? Why didn't Torah use the word? No, this wasn't under the water. It was on the water. Why did Torah use the word of teva? And the other thing is unbelievable point. Chachamim point out. What was the measurement of the teva? The measurement of the teva is 300 amma orech teva. The length was 300, 50 amma ruchba, the width 50, and the height 30. 350, 30. How many say, what is this measurement? The gematria, 300 is shin. 50 is nun. 30 is lamed. It's a lashon. It's unbelievable. You connect it. It's coincidence? It's lashon. It's lashon. The measurement of the teva is lashon. It's tongue. The measurement that they made the teva, that Mefarshim say that this measurement was not accurate because this measurement doesn't take anybody inside. It was a miracle. Now, if it is a miracle, why HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts his finger on these measurements? Shilosh Shmeot, Chamishim and Shlushim, Chazal tell us that becomes time. And what does Teva mean? Teva means two things. Means box. You make a box, and Teva means word. Chazal are telling us in the flood of life, this flood that we cannot identify it. It comes to our bones, our cells, takes the inner part of our family and dimension of our family. Torah says, what's the best teva that you could make out? And to be safe, use your tongue for good words. This tongue and good word is the greatest teva that we have. We got nothing to save us. There is nothing to make us to stand in front of the flood. The only thing that we could stay, the family together, to give that chiyut, that strength, that power that our children, our wife, and our surrounding they need is the tongue and the good word. With the tongue and good word, we make a teva that we empower our family, our children, they could stand up. But chas v'shalom, if we don't have a good wording, if we don't have a good tongue, we destroy the home, we destroy the family, and there is no safe. We can't be safe. We cannot be safe. When we crush our children with the word, see, I tell you, all of us here, we cannot attest to ourselves. Of course, we could attest to ourselves that if we would have used a better language, better word, we had a much better intimacy with a lot of people, with our wife, with our children, with our co-workers, with even somebody employee that works for you. If you use the tongue and good wording, you could make a better relationship, better intimacy, better handling, and the result would have been much greater. The result would have been much better. Therefore, Torah is telling us nowadays the only thing that works is a teva tongue. To be careful what comes out of it. A young boy comes to my office and he cries and cries. He cannot even open his mouth. He's crushed. And he doesn't know what to do with himself. From all of the statements, things that hear from the father, from mother, from here, from there, that kills the person, that destroys the person. No, what we need to empower, we need tongue and good word. Now, very interesting, the Midrash says Rabbi Yehuda Anasi was a very, very rich man. He wanted to teach people what's the impact of the good word once he invites everybody and serves them tongue. And tells them that, start eating. After 2 minutes, 3 minutes of eating, clapped on the table, says, please, everybody should stop. And then he asked them, already was such commotion, why is he stopping us? We're in the middle of eating, You stop a man from eating, it's very dangerous, no? But he stopped them and tells them, I want to ask you a question. Tongue is very delicious. It's very good taste. All of it. But now I want to know, where did you start eating? Everybody says that you start from the top, it's more tender, it's more delicious. He says, listen, tongue is delicious, but still you don't suffice to take from wherever that is. You take from the best part. And that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to teach us, that the tongue is not enough just to use a good word. You have to use the best word that you could. When you talk, when you say things, use the best word that you could use. And by the way, always I say in Shalom Bayit and Chinuch Habanim that the respect that we should give to our wife and children, we should respect them like a foreigner. We shouldn't feel his wife or his our children the same technique, the same kavod and respect that we have somebody stranger, somebody not part of the family, with full kavod, full respect. We should do the same to our wife and children. They deserve it. And that's the way that we build up relationship. But just the opposite. By nature, we take them as granted. We don't respect them. We talking to them. Somebody calls, we interrupt them. We don't know. The child understands. My father respects the customer more than me. My father respects my cousin more than me. My father respects this stranger more than me. You have to give them full respect. You have to deal them just the opposite. We are more obligated to our children than other people are a stranger. Customer, what does he give to you? Millions of dollars? What does a child give to a person? What's my responsibility for the child? For a person has to be careful how to respect, how to talk. These are the things that builds up the family, builds up that teva that we need to stand in front of the mabul of life. Now in Parashat Lecha, we have the personality of Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu, now after Noah, we have a new creation. This new creation is with Avraham. Avraham comes, and the Torah tells us that this is very interesting. You learn the speak Parashat, it sounds the milchama, war between Melachim and Melech. And it was this week of the election. It's very interesting. I don't know what to say, but it comes very interesting. And especially that the way that the Midrash goes, that these 4 Melachim, they fight with 5 Melachim, and they capture Lot, Achi Avraham. Midrash says all of the intention was to capture the Lot, to get the ransom, to get the Lot, and through Lot get to Avraham. They want to destroy Avraham. They want to destroy Avraham. All the plan is to destroy Avraham. And they come and tell Avraham, sure enough, Avraham should go back to war and to be killed. No, Avraham, you see the personality of Avraham. Like Chazal tell us, even though that he saw that they are so strong, but he says, this is my nephew, and got captured, I have to get up and save him. He went to a war and saved him. Now Torah tells us that the word that he made, he divided night, and he went to the milchama, divided the night. Now the Midrash says, what does it mean, divided the night? In other words, the first portion of night, Hashem made the miracle and saved him, and the second portion of the night became night of Yetziat Mitzrayim. It's very interesting, night of Yetziat Mitzrayim, right over here. And then the Torah tells us that all of them, they got together, and Melech and Melech Sodom, when Avraham went to war and he captured them and he gave back everything to Melech Sodom and Amorah, and the Apostle says, Melech Sodom, the spirit of Sodom and Amorah came to him, and Melchizedek Melech Shalem, he brought Lech and Yain, bread and wine. Chazal tell us bread and wine is very interesting. Bread has to be fresh. Wine has to be old. He told Abraham, what are you? What's your philosophy? What do you deal? You become modern like a bread, or you become old like a wine? What's your strategy in life? That was the point that he was giving message. What do you want? You want to become modernized and to be fresh? Abraham says, a Jew has 2 things. One thing is his faith. His faith is as old as wine. It gets older, it gets better and better. But on the other hand, we have our attitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, our motivation and our dealing with Hashem in mitzvot, tefillah, is fresh like a bread. That excitement and that movement we have like a bread, and our faith is as old as wine. And that, the Apostle says, that Hu Emer HaMelech. What does Emer HaMelech mean, Rashi says? Rashi says Emer HaMelech, that was the valley of the king. Rashi points out, Midrash Agada, Emer Sheushab Usham Kol HaUmot V'imlichu et Avraham Alehem Lenasi Alehem Legatzim. That was the Emer that they made all of the Umot, in other words, to make a Melech. Unbelievable. Torah tells us, these 4 Melachim, they want to destroy Avraham. They catch Lot to make Avraham to come and war against them and to destroy him. Hashem makes this just the opposite. Hashem makes the revelation of Avraham. Avraham becomes the king. And Chazal tell us, at this point, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in other words, becomes the Mashiach. And by Pasuk Zayin, Vayomer Elav, Hashem told Avraham, by Shishi, Peret Tetvav, Pasuk Zayin, Vayomer Elav, and told him that Ani Hashem Aloshechotecha Amor Kastim. I'm the one that took you out from Amor Kastim. So tell us, this is the same thing that Hashem told Har Israel by Har Sinai. I'm Hashem Aloshechotecha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. Therefore, here there was a revelation of Asara, in other words, Asara Diberot, and to build up Am Yisrael, but the only thing is that Avraham says, Pama'eda, ki irashena. Once you say Pama'eda, Zoit Chasdod, Zoit Rashi, you need the Shibud of Misraim to take it up Pama'eda, the shortcoming of Ma'eda, and the Mashiach should come. Otherwise, here, everything was set with the Melachim, the Melech HaMelech, Avraham becomes the Melech. And what we learn from this is that the king of the world, they try to destroy Kahal Israel, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu just the opposite. From whatever that they intend to do to do evil to Kahal Israel, Hashem makes just the opposite. Hu Melech HaMelech, and B'ezrat Hashem, we should be Zoche to Geula Shlema.
Amen.